Alright, so first thing we're going to cover before we get started with the dashboard is the compatibility for apps based on root access. For the top 7 or 8 apps there, WhatsApp chat, photo, audio, Facebook chat, Snapchat, Viber, Kakao, Tinder, all these are going to work without root in terms of incoming and outgoing messages. The only ones that are going to need root for outgoing messages are Skype, Line, Kik, Instagram, Hangouts, Hike, IMO, Zalo, and Gmail. With those, you still are able to get incoming messages, however outgoing does require root. So we just want to make sure that you're aware of that before we get started. So let's go over the main view of the dashboard. Think of your main view as a summary view of statistics and quick access functions. It lets you gather insight quickly and also perform common functions. On the left of the main view, we have the System Information pane, which gives us software details and the root status of the currently selected device. Keep in mind that root is not required on the target device for the vast majority of Spyfone's features. On the right, we have a continuation of information and also details concerning the connectivity of the currently selected device to the Spyfone server. As we scroll down, we'll get to see more information about our target. Here, under Device Status, we see our target's battery life, the RAM memory currently utilized, and the internal storage available. And if the device has a micro SD card, you'll see the external storage available. Otherwise, the external storage number will reflect the internal storage number. Beneath these stats, we see the state of device connections, which includes 4G, Wi-Fi, mobile network location access, which is location determined by distance from cell towers, and of course the GPS. Here we have a graph which gives insight into what the target user spends most of their time doing with the device. Here you can see we have quick access live panel options to capture video from the target device camera, capture photos, view a live stream of the screen content, capture audio, and obtain an instant lock on the target location. We'll go over these in more detail when we cover the live panel. As we scroll down, we have a location map, recent call log, recent SMS log, and details regarding app usage duration. Below that is a detailed view of app usage, and finally at the bottom we have the most recently taken photos. Now let's cover the options available to us on the left side panel. At the top, you can see we have an arrow which allows it to hide and show the left side panel. Our first option is subscription. Here we can manage some subscription options. If your subscription is expired, you can purchase a renewal here. When you have your subscription key, you can apply it here as well. Here in the subscription details pane, you'll be able to see all of your subscription purchase information, and below that you have the ability to transfer your subscription between devices which you have already registered with your account. Back on the left side panel, you'll see the dashboard option, which takes us back to our main view, which we've already covered. As you can see, the side panel option icons have notification badges, which will let you know when the new data is available and how many notifications there are. On the calls page, we can see which contacts the target user has spent the most time on the phone with. And in the detail view, we can search for contacts and constrain our search to a specific date range. We can also delete calls from our dashboard log, and most importantly, we can play back call audio for incoming and outgoing calls. The SMS view is similar to the call view. However, the data is regarding text messages, not calls. You have the same ability to search, and you can search by contact name or number, and you can also delete text messages from your dashboard log. In the text commands view, we can see information regarding the advanced text command feature. Put simply, this feature allows you to trigger functions on the target device from any phone or VoIP device in the world by manually sending a discrete text message that has a code in it. This text message communicates directly with the Spyfone app on the target. First, we have our security code. In this case, it's X9F9P9. This is the prefix that goes in the body of the SMS message that we send to the target phone number. This lets Spyfone know that this is a special SMS text message command. Down below we see 12 text command functions. simply send the code exactly as shown. For example, for an instant photo, you would send X9F9P9 space capital P capital C sent as SMS to the target, which will trigger that command, and the photo will show up in the Photos category view shortly. The Contacts view allows you to view the entire list of the target's contacts and search for contacts by name or number. You can also block individual contacts so that the target will not receive calls from them. The Location view shows the dates and times of locations, which is both updated periodically and on your command. You can search for visits to named geolocations, which you can create in the Geofencing's category view. You also have the ability to view the locations on the map and delete logs from the dashboard as well. Similar to the Location category view, you are able to see a list of locations visited by the target in the Draw Location Path view. You are also able to view the path that was taken between these locations. Additionally, if you click on a numbered location on the map, you can see the accuracy, latitude, longitude, as well as the timestamp for when this location was visited. Here in the Apps view, you can take a look at data recorded from various social media applications. These apps must be installed already on the target and be in use for data to show up here. Data will only show with respect to the application and the permission state of the target device. Please refer to the Social Media Prerequisites section near the beginning of this video to review prerequisites for individual social media applications. In the App Usage category view, you can see how much time has been spent using the top 5 most active apps on the target device. You can also see it as a percentage. Below that is the detail view of all the used apps where you can see when they are accessed, as well as have the ability to block access to individual apps. As in other views, you also have the useful ability to be able to narrow your search to a specific time frame and search for usage of specific apps. The MMS category is nearly identical to the SMS category view. MMS messages can simply be viewed as SMS messages that contain data such as audio, video, or other file types. The Schedule view allows you to schedule multimedia capturing on the target device for specific times and dates. Let's say you wanted to capture a 20-minute audio recording tomorrow at 5 p.m. You could do that simply by clicking Capture Audio, set the date for tomorrow, set the duration, and let's set the number of captures to 1, and hit Save. You'll now see this scheduled audio capture appear in the Detail List view, where you can also delete it if you no longer need the audio capture to occur. The Photos view has all of the target device's photos taken by the camera. We are presented with low-resolution thumbnails. However, upon clicking on individual photos, you will be able to view the full resolution and save these images if you need to. You are able to search for photos taken within specific time frames and also search based on the file names, and of course remove unwanted photos as needed. The Web History view allows you to see the default web browser history on the target device. You can search by site name and browsing time frame, delete logs, and you can also visit the pages, including seeing search results for queries on sites like Google and Bing. Anytime that the target user copies text using their device, it will be available for viewing in the Clipboard view. You can search between specific dates, search for content, and also delete clipboard entries from the dashboard as needed. In the Change Password view, you can change the password for your user login to the Spyfone Dashboard. In the Data Liberation view, we can free up space on our dashboard by first downloading our dashboard data and then choosing the Delete option. But be careful here, make sure you actually want to delete data before you do so. Keep in mind this will clear out data from all your current views and you will not be able to retrieve data you have not downloaded. In the system log view, you can see individual actions taken both by the user and the system of the target device. You can also narrow this view to a specific time frame and delete log entries as needed to save space. In the settings menu, you can set the daily monitoring interval in the 24-hour time format. The default is 0:0 to 0:0, which means midnight until the following midnight, or always monitoring. You can also limit the individual days in which the target is monitored. Below that, you can change the current device name at any time. For security purposes, you can change the SMS command pin as needed. This pin, as we covered before in the text commands view, is the prefix to special SMS commands that trigger specific features on the target. If, for example, anyone was aware of this pin, along with your target device phone number, they could potentially trigger unwanted and untimely functions. It is always good to be aware of who might have ready access to your personal devices in which you access your Spyfone dashboard. You may also want to turn off password remembrance just for Spyfone.com. Further below, you can set the scan interval for various social apps which are measured in seconds. 3600 is the default, and that is equal to 1 hour. So for these social apps listed here, they will be scanned for new content every hour. The GPS distance interval is measured in meters. The default is 50 meters, or about 165 feet, which means that the GPS position will trigger a location update on the dashboard when that minimum threshold of location change is met. By default, the target device will transmit data over both the cellular network and Wi-Fi. If your target takes a lot of photos and video while on the go, you may want to turn communication over cell data off if they do not have an unlimited data plan, or if you're worried about the target battery life, which is to some degree or another affected by data being transmitted from the target to the dashboard server. Please use your discretion and keep in mind that even if the cellular communication is turned off, the target will sync with your dashboard the next time it connects to Wi-Fi. You also have the option to receive email notifications of updates to your dashboard data. By default, this is turned off. However, you can receive daily summaries and/or receive an email notification for every single new piece of data coming from the target if you choose. The call recording codec by default is set to AMR. Codec is a contraction for the term compression decompression, and it's just a piece of software that is used to make audio files smaller. You will not need to change this unless instructed by support or if you are an advanced user. The call recording source is set to MIC by default, which means that both outgoing and incoming voice are recorded, and this option will not need to be changed either unless otherwise advised. The call recording delay is 1 second, which you can control. This means that by default, a call will be recorded after 1 second of the call has passed. The sample rate cannot be changed at this time. Although this may be an added feature in the future, the sampling rate is equivalent to the resolution of a photo. The higher the sampling rate, typically the better quality the audio. Our developers have selected the best trade-off between quality and size for you in advance. In the Features pane, at the very bottom, you can enable or disable monitoring of specific applications and features. If, for instance, the target user has a Viber account, but you are not interested in capturing this data whatsoever, you can turn this feature off and potentially help the target user to save battery life by preventing unnecessary syncing of that specific information.